everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the WCBN sports coverage of tonight's volleyball game between the number 20 Indiana Hoosiers and the Michigan Wolverines. I'm Reynold on the call tonight, joined by Andrew Pipta. Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. This should be a really exciting game between a scrappy Michigan team looking to add another ranked victory after the defeat of number 10 Minnesota last week against a Indiana team on the up and up. This is their best ranking in the AVCA in program history, number 20th. This team is on the up and up, and they are looking better than ever.
For sure. And as the Wolverines looking to, they are currently, let's see, as the player intros are about to start, we'll have you guys tune in.
And now, let's meet the starters for your Michigan Wolverines. At middle blocker, a 6'2" senior from Troy, Michigan, number 1, Serena Diapio. At outside hitter, a 5'11" graduate student from Stevenson, California, number 2, Allison Dugo. At opposite hitter, a 6'3" junior from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, number 5, Lydia Johnson. At center, a 6' junior from Omaha, Nebraska, number 7, Morgan Booth. At outside hitter, a 6'2" sophomore from Appleton, Wisconsin, number 9, Ella Dumacuchin. At middle blocker, a 6'3" sophomore from Poland, California, number 12, Jenna Hayes. And at libero, a 5'5" graduate student from Downers Grove, Illinois, number 19, Maddie Cochran.
And as the player intros wrap up, Andrew, what's the key to success for Michigan tonight?
You know, we're here for the Block Cancer Initiative, and I really think that blocking is going to be something that we really need to focus on. This is going to be a game that is won at the front court defense. I mean, against Wisconsin and against a lot of these teams in Big Ten play that have really hammered Michigan, they are getting blocked at the net. And this is a really talented Indiana team at generating blocks, generating defense at the net. And in order for Michigan to defeat this team, they're going to have to avoid just getting shut down at the net.
For sure. Michigan goes into their 4th straight game, I believe, without Ellie White. Looking okay so far without her. Morgan Burke has really stepped up in her place, getting a lot of the play time. What do you think the Michigan Wolverines have to do in terms of one of their key players tonight?
It's just going to be a next person up mentality. You know, you got to find someone who's going to create a lot of you know, quality minutes, and just, again, it's just going to be whoever can step up for Michigan will just impact this game immensely.
For sure. Something else a little bit different tonight. Hannah Leffridge looks like she's going to be the second libero. Usually, for the Hoosiers, it is Avery Freeman, number 2, and Audrey Jackson, number 5. Tonight, suiting up in black, it is going to be Hannah Leffridge, number 7, and Audrey Jackson, number 5. What do you think the plan is for that?
I just think it's to get another person out there, just a little shake up in the lineup. And I mean, this is a very young and a very young Indiana team. A lot of the production from this team comes from either underclassmen in general, but especially freshmen. So I just think this is going to be another game where you get to see a little more of what you got with her.
For sure. Krichkovich up to serve. Start us off. Up and over we go. Received by the Wolverines. And Jenna Haynes sets it up and over. Looks like that's Kričković again. Number 13, Avery Tatum going for the kill and gets the point. Indiana strikes first, 1-0.
Yeah, that was just a classic move by Indiana, and just landed off a Michigan defender, just fell to the ground. Nothing really you could do out of that.
Received by Michigan. Lydia Johnson going out of bounds. Up, Allison Jacobs sends it over. Kričković sets it up. Blocked at the line. Lydia Johnson and Jenna Haynes. Unfortunately, that block goes out of bounds. Point still goes to the Hoosiers. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, that's just a bad break for Michigan there. A really great defensive play. Timed it perfectly. Just went out of bounds.
Kričković serves one more time. Great dig by Maddie Cochran there. Burke sets it up. And what a great kill by Ella Demetrician, putting it in the perfect spot. Michigan gets on the board.
Yeah, she was a member of this team last year, and she's really stepped up this year. Another great kill from her in a season that's been special for her.
For sure. Lydia Johnson up the serve now. Great game against Minnesota. Kričković sets it for number 23. Victoria Gray gets it over, received by Michigan well. Allison Jacobs puts it over, received by the Hoosiers. Looks like Avery Tatum just kind of sets it over. Another great dig by Maddie Cochran. Jacobs going for the kill. Great dig by number 5, Audrey Jackson. It looks like the Hoosiers can't handle it. Michigan strikes again, 2-2 the score.
And, I mean, just attacking that back row, just going after it.
Great play by the Wolverines there. Sorry, Ella Demetrician is actually up the serve now. Received by the Hoosiers as well. Kričković to Tatum. Great dig by Morgan Burke, but it goes out of bounds. Hoosiers strike.
Yeah, and Burke was there, made a really nice dig there. It's just, what a fun bounce.
For sure. Looks like that's number 24, Jaden Yeager, up now to serve for the Hoosiers. It's up and over. Received by Demetrician to Burke to Johnson. Oh, a great kill by Lydia Johnson right on the line. Michigan ties it 3-3.
And after limited play in her first 2 seasons, Lydia Johnson has really broken out for this Michigan team, and that was just an example of what she does day in and day out. What a hit from her.
For sure. We're going to need her tonight. Maddie Cochran up the serve now, up and over. And just a weird receive by Cortzelis goes out of bounds. Wolverines take their first lead of the night, scores 4-3.
Yeah, it just looks like it clipped her arm and it, at a weird angle, goes out of bounds. That's a free point for Michigan.
Maddie Cochran up the serve again, up and over, received by Jackson. Oh, just gets over the net. Looks like a little awkward exchange there.
Yeah, you could kind of see a little bit of hesitation on that free ball. There was an opportunity there to just send it down, but looks like a little hesitation there.
Score is 4-4. Hannah Leffridge checks in to serve now. Previously mentioned, just playing libero tonight. Received by Jacobs well. Burke to Niambio. What a great kill by Serena Niambio. Wolverines take the lead again, 5-4.
And that was just some great work by Morgan Burke there. She just, a light tap up, straight up to Niambia, who's right behind her. Just a quick spike. That's something that is going to be necessary. Just an elite play by Morgan Burke.
Camille Edwards in now. Someone we haven't seen much of this year. She's up to serve. And unfortunately, serve is air.
Yeah, that ball just didn't have a lot of zip on it, and it ends up falling just a little out of bounds.
Some substitutions. Look like Samara Gordon, number 3, and Camille Edwards are both in the game for Lydia Johnson and Jenna Haynes. Tatum up the serve, received by Maddie Cochran. Allison Jacobs' attack goes out of bounds out of the back. Indiana Hoosiers score. They take the lead, 6-5.
Yeah, and this has been a magical season for the Hoosiers off of a really talented 2025 recruiting class, and we're going to see it here today.
Tatum up the serve. Great dig by Maddie Cochran. Put it up by Camille Edwards. Jacobs just sets it over. Tatum receives it well. Kričković to number 3, Cortzeas. Great dig by Ella Demetrician there. Samara Gordon is met at the net by number 3, Cortzelis, and number 27, Ella Borzema. Hoosiers get the point.
And Borzema has been elite for this Hoosier team this year. She leads the Big Ten in blocks per set. She's going to be really dangerous for this team.
Avery Tatum up the serve now. Serve is air by the Hoosiers. Wolverines point.
But yeah, back to that previous point by Borzema. Like that, she had an incredible game against UCLA when they were on that 2-game California away series, and she was a key part as to why they came out with the victory.
For sure. Allison Jacobs with the serve, received by Jackson. Oh, wow, what a block by Samara Gordon and Serena Niambio. Wolverines tie it up 7-7.
Like I said, it's going to be all about those blocks. And look at that, an elite game as Allison Jacobs, who's 4th in the Big Ten in kills, is up to serve.
Jacobs to serve. Received by the Hoosiers. Well, Krichkovic to Cortseas. Great receive by Maddie Cochran there. And Ella Demetrition just finds a soft zone in the defense, gets the Wolverines the point.
And that's a part of a lot of this Michigan game, too. It's just crafty ways to get points there. It was a little dump off right into the middle, into no man's land, and a free point for Michigan there.
For sure. Allison Jacobs up the serve now. 8-7, the Wolverines lead. Received by the Hoosiers, goes a little out of bounds. Saved, though, by Audrey Jackson as it goes back up and over. Set by Camille Edwards. Niambio tips it over. Indiana reacts well. Niambio goes for the kill. Wow. Michigan point.
And a lot of that was point there was off of free balls from Michigan. If they can force a lot of these and just get easy opportunities to get kills, this is going to be really easy for Michigan.
9-7, Wolverines up. Allison Jacobs serves once again, received by Yeager to Cortseas, blocked at the line by Niambio. Unfortunately, goes out of bounds. Hoosier point.
Yeah, and it looked like that ball kind of got aimed right at the chest of Niambio, bounces down onto the Michigan side.
Cortseas up to serve now for the Indiana Hoosiers. Is up and over, received by Cochran to Camille Edwards to Niambio. Met well. Maybe a net infraction, it looks like. Yes, a net infraction. Michigan gets the point. They now lead 10-8.
And just already what we're seeing from this Michigan and Indiana squad has been really just a mix of great offense, great defense, and it's been really exciting to see in this very pivotal game for both teams.
For sure. Niambio up to serve now, received by Yeager. Krichkovic just tips it over. And unfortunately, looks like Jenna Haynes got a hand on it, goes out of bounds. Hoosiers just get the point.
Looks like substitutions are coming in.
Avery Freeman checks in for the Hoosiers. The usual libero that we see, not wearing the black tonight, wearing the usual red for the Hoosiers. Wolverines and Mays with Maddie Cochran, libero in blue. Freeman with the serve. Edwards to Gordon, and she's met at the line by number 24, Jaden Yeager. What a great block.
What a great block, but that was still a point for Michigan there, just
going out of bounds. Looks like number 27, Ella Borzima, checks out, and in comes number 10, Krichkovic, as Morgan Burke is getting ready to serve now. Some substitutions for Michigan as well. Jenna Haynes comes in for Camille Edwards. Krichkovic. Oh, wow, what a great kill by Jaden Yeager.
Yeah, Yeager there, the Michigan block was well-timed. She was just able to get a little bit around it, just slammed it right down, right in the middle of the court, and just nothing you could do there.
Krichkovic up the serve once again. Received by Jacobs. And blocked at the line. Wow. Looks like that was Victoria Gray.
Yeah, it just looked like a really just kind of weird point there. Just ended up being a little short and just a fight at the net there for the ball.
11-11 the score. Hoosiers serve goes up and over. A little weird receive by Ella Demetrician. Wolverines recover though, as the attack gets blocked. Great dig by Allison Jacobs to keep it alive. Received by Cortseas to Krichkovic to Yeager. And it goes out of bounds. Wolverines get the point.
Yeah, that was just some clutch defense there on display. Heads up, head on a swivel, just able to make a play and save that point. Ended up being a Michigan point off that out of bounds hit.
Ella Demetrician up to serve now. Up and over we go. Received by Yeager. Cortseas going for the attack. Received well by the Wolverines. Lydia Johnson going for the attack. Doesn't find anything there. Jacobs just sets it over. Received well by the Hoosiers. Burke to Jacobs. Received well by Cortseas. to Krichkovich. Jaeger looks like another block at the line, but once again goes out of bounds. Hoosiers tie it back up, 12-12.
Yeah, that's been something that the Hoosiers have gotten to go their way, just these blocks that go out of bounds off of a really good Michigan rally. I loved what I saw there. A lot of free points generated, free attack generated.
Jaden Jaeger up the serve now, received well by Cochran to Burke. Jacobs tips it over to Krichkovich, left ridge. Tatum, oh wow, hits Maddie Cochran, looks like right in the chest.
Ooh, that had some heat on it, just a laser right into Cochran.
For sure, great kill by Avery Tatum. Looks like it is Jaeger again up to serve. 13-12, the Hoosiers lead. Received by Demetrician to Johnson, and just an awkward pass by Allison Jacobs there. Lydia Johnson couldn't really get a handle of it. Hoosiers get the point, 14-12.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of an awkward set for Michigan. Just not enough power on that ball to get over the net, and ends up being a free point there for Indiana as timeout has been called.
Looks like by the Hoosiers, I believe. What have you seen so far in this first set?
I've seen a lot of good stuff from both sides. Like I've been telling, I'm talking about these free touches for Michigan. You know, just getting an extra play, extra attack attempt, and I've seen a lot of that from Michigan, and that's ended up in a lot of not only just great rallies, but great just aside. They have taken advantage of a couple long balls from Michigan. And they've also taken advantage of just hitting the ball in the right spot. You know, you see, it's kind of weird how this bull have a really good block at the right spot and able to bounce it off of people. That is something that is really a skill, just ball placement. I've seen a lot of great ball placement by Indiana.
For sure. A lot of Indiana points coming from tips off of the Wolverines going out of bounds.
That too, that's been another thing that we've seen. Was that something that happened in the Michigan game for Minnesota? I know you were on call for that.
Yeah, I will say, Michigan against Minnesota, the first set was a very close set, looking a little scrappy. And in the next three sets, Michigan won that game 3-1. They just looked very clean. They looked on the same page. The team chemistry was there. There were very minimal mistakes by the Wolverines. And in fact, they capitalized on a lot of the Golden Gophers' mistakes. It's something that my partner then, Paul Anglade, he mentioned the cross-court offense from the Wolverines was pivotal against the Golden Gophers. We'll see if it holds true tonight, too.
Especially when this is a veteran team going up against a very young team. Even though this Indiana team has been playing like they're like juniors, seniors, just a lot of experience. If they've had a lot of away games, I think 5 of their last 6 have been away. Maybe, you know, you just can kind of get them on a little bit of an off day.
For sure. Jaden Jaeger up to serve once again for the Hoosiers off the timeout. Received by Demetrician to Jacobs. Johnson met at the line by Victoria Gray. And it looks like the Hoosiers get a point. Just a little bit of chaos at the net there.
Yeah, the ball kind of went over. That was a little bit of an overpass there, and Indiana has taken advantage of that play. I mean, that's going to be something that's really important. That was something that was very important in the Wisconsin game, too.
For sure. 15-12, the Hoosiers lead now. Jaden Jaeger up to serve once again. Received by Demetrician to Jacobs. What a great kill by Allison Jacobs.
That ball had rocketed off her arm like it was just shot out of a cannon there. That was just a really, really efficient bump set spike there. That's something you dream every single time.
Maddie Cochran up to serve now, received by Jackson to Krichkovich. Oh, Tatum goes up for the kill, but it is blocked by Jacobs and Niambio at the net.
That was just a textbook block there. Perfectly timed, jump up. Both of them were in the right place, right time, and just shut down that kill attempt.
Maddie Cochran up to serve once again. Service air for the Wolverines. Second of the day. Indiana Hoosiers extend their lead 16-14. Hannah Leffridge now up to serve with the Hoosiers lead 16-14 here in the first set. Received by Maddie Cochran. Niambio goes for a kill, doesn't get it. Leffridge to Cortseas, received by Ella Demetrician. Burke. Jacobs. Looks like it was received by Jaden Yeager. Tatum goes for the kill. Great dig by Maddie Cochran there. Lydia Johnson, great dig by number 10, Krichkovic, but it looks like she didn't get a hand on it, actually.
Oh, what? Oh, that is an interesting
So Lydia Johnson gets the
point.
kill. I wonder if the Hoosiers will challenge that here.
Yeah, I'd imagine that in a close set like that, and this game has been, I mean, that would be something that I would look at, look at the replay, see if we can challenge that. Oh, wait, no, that's a point,
For sure.
Indiana.
Point Hoosiers.
Yeah,
Looks
no.
like a little bit of confusion here as the point goes to the Hoosiers, but the Wolverines are up the score. I believe that is the Wolverines' point. And a great block by Serena Niambio. And that ties it up for the Wolverines.
Yeah, no, that was, again, this is what I was saying. It's going to be about that net defense. If you can generate blocks, generate these 3 points, it's going to be a close game. And Allison Jacobs there with a just monster block.
For sure. So after all that confusion, we're all tied up here. Camille Edwards to serve, received by Jackson to Krichkovic. And a great block by Niambio once again. Jackson gets it back up. Cortseas just kind of tips it over. Great dig by Camille Edwards right there. And Samara Gordon tries to call her own number. Another great dig by Jacobs. Wolverines are flying all over the place. Jacobs just tips it over. Received ball by the Hoosiers. And a little mistake. It is loud here in Cliff Keen Arena as the Wolverines take the lead 17-16.
I mean, that was just, I felt like Michigan was doing anything, was getting everything that they wanted and more. I mean, that was a perfectly played set, in my opinion. Capped off with an Allison Jacobs. A little floater there right at the end, just got it right where no one was. And
how about the hustle on that play?
Oh, no, they've been showing a lot of hustle all game long. I mean, receiving some great kill attempts by Indiana. I mean, both teams are a very, very efficient team in terms of generating kills. So to see Michigan just playing a really incredible defense in a really important game for them. They are playing like they could get another ranked win.
For sure. Looks like another Hoosier timeout. Looking to talk some things over, trying to get some of the momentum back. It's the Wolverines. I think they had a 5-point run there, it looked like.
Yeah, no, they've been on a really good run. I'm really liking what we're seeing.
For sure. Hail to the Victors is playing right now here in Cliff Keen Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great game so far. Wolverines lead 17-16 here in set 1. Scrappy match, bodies flying all over the place. You can tell that both teams really want this win. A crucial game for both teams.
Again, like we've said, I mean, Indiana, they're looking to keep their hot streak alive. This game, if they can win this game, would mark the best start to Big Ten play in Indiana Hoosier history. And that would be a very, very impressive milestone for a team that has not been known as a volleyball hotspot. But Steve, the head coach here at the head coach with Indiana, he's been doing a really good job.
Camille Edwards with the serve, received well by the Hoosiers, and looks like they go for the kill. The tips off Michigan. Hoosiers point, they tie it up 17-17.
Yeah, and you could just see, like, right after that kill, like, you could just, everyone on the Indiana Hoosiers knew, like, yeah, no, we just got that point. You could just see it in their body language.
For sure. Number 12 checking in for the first time tonight. Jessica Smith is in. She is serving as the game is all tied up 17-17. Smith serves, received by Cochran. To Edwards, to Jacobs. What a great dig by Hannah Lethbridge there. Hoosiers just kind of reconvene there. It's not enough for Serena Niambio, though, as she says, give me that kill.
One of the most efficient hitters in the Big Ten. I mean, middle blockers aren't asked to hit as much as, like, your hitters, but Niambio is a really great hitter for this Michigan team.
For sure. 18-17 Wolverines lead. Allison Jacobs up to serve, and another service error for the Wolverines. I believe that's the third of their night as that ties it up.
Yeah, and that has been a little brutal in this very, very close set. I mean, 3 service errors already. That could bite them in this first set.
For sure. Hoosiers up to serve once again. Received by Demetrician. Samara Gordon. goes for the kill. Looks like it was tipped off of Victoria Gray and out of bounds. Wolverines get the point there.
I mean, that was just a perfectly set ball, and she just goes up and just brings it down home.
In comes Trixie McMillan for Maddie Cochran. First time seeing Trixie tonight.
Yeah, she's a bit of a serving specialist for this team.
Going up for the serve. Received by Jackson to Krichkovic to Borzema, and she gets the kill. Indiana ties it up 19-19. We are just going back and forth, partner.
Yeah, no, this is the type of game that you want to see, at least for at one set, you know, back and forth adventure.
For sure. Avery Freeman up the serve now for the Hoosiers. We're all tied up 19-19. Received well by Demetrician to Cochran. Demetrician goes for the kill, and she gets it. Ella Demetrician put some heat on that one.
You know, there was a lot of pepper on that kill. That was just that's the type of hit that it's just beautiful. That's what you want to see out of any of your hitters.
For sure. Morgan Burke checks back into the game. Great setter for the Wolverines. Has had a pretty great season so far.
And I mean, she hit 2,000 career assists. The 10th player in Michigan history.
Krichkovic just kind of tries to dunk it over. Doesn't work. Wolverines respond well. And a miscommunication by the Hoosiers there. Wolverines take advantage. Krichkovic goes to set it up. Nobody there to answer the call.
Yeah, I think she thought that. She thought that, like, hey, there's someone to the right of her that we can get this easy set. But no one was there.
Burke to serve once again. Krichkovic blocked at the line. Jaden Jager finds a soft zone in the defense for a great kill.
That was some great accuracy there, attacking the front court, that right side. There was no one in the vicinity to make a play on that ball, and there's, again, finding a soft spot in that defense is a crafty move.
Krichkovic, part of his very talented freshman class for the Indiana Hoosiers, up to serve. Received by Jacobs to Burke. To Jacobs once again, and looks like that was just out of bounds. Hoosiers tie it up.
Yeah, that backcourt attack, you know, when that ball was rocketed, it looked like it was going to be another kill in in the backcourt. Just a little too much air on it. However, there is going to be a challenge here.
I think they're challenging that there was a touch by the Hoosiers, possibly at the net.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be really important as Big Ten media is going to go and look at this replay. What they're going to be looking for when you're looking for a touch is just any maybe change in the ball's trajectory, any little contact, you know, a little recoil. It looks close here, on, even though we don't really have like the best 4K cam footage. It just, you're looking for any like recoil of the fingers, you know, any signs of a touch, maybe a change in the velocity or change of where that ball's going.
Something important to keep in mind, the call on the court was a service error out of bounds, or not, pardon me, not a service error, but the kill going out of bounds, Hoosiers point. It's going to be hard to overturn that one just by looking at the replay.
Yeah.
Don't know if there's going to be enough there.
Yeah, you have to, and it's not looking at whether or not the ball stayed in bounds. They are not paying attention in the slightest. They are looking for if there is a touch, and I don't know. To me, I don't think there's a touch. Even anyway, I think this is a good time to, you know, take a timeout, you know, reconvene. 21-21. This is going to be a crucial next couple touches in order to, you know, take control of this first set.
For sure.
I mean, what do you think? That's what I want to ask. Do you think there was a touch? You think there wasn't?
It's really hard to tell. Concerning the call on the court was no touch out of bounds, Indiana Hoosier point. I think that it's going to be hard to overturn that one. Probably just, the call's probably going to be upheld here. I believe.
Yeah, to me, I believe it too. I just don't think there's enough.
It's kind of a crucial point for the Hoosiers here, being down 22-20. It's a lot different than being all tied up at 21 as we near the end of this first set here. What a great night.
Oh no,
weather's starting to cool down finally.
Yeah, no, I've been loving that. You know,
feeling like fall.
I'm a type of person that I love long sleeves. I love like layering like clothes. Like, I'm a guy where I have a jersey and I'll lay it with like a little bit of like a long sleeve and I'll rock it like that. I love the fall just for that ability. Just like you start to be able to wear nice clothes.
For sure.
I'm about to say no one can see it right now, but like yeah, like I'm calling the game in a pea coat right now, and I was talking with my fellow broadcastee, and I was talking. I'm like, yeah, no, I look like a Bond villain right up here in the, and maybe that's just like I just
Looking
was,
good, Andrew.
yeah. Hey, I'm looking sharp and clean. You know, hey, feel good, call good.
For sure. We'd like to thank you guys for tuning in here in Ann Arbor. You're here in Cliff Keen Arena. Pretty packed tonight, actually.
Yeah, I mean, hey, everyone's showing out. You know, this is a big game.
Important
And
game. Wearing their pink.
yeah, the block again. We've been talking about it. The Block Cancer Initiative. You know, I love when sports do like a pink out
For
for
sure.
just in the month of October. It just really that's like I think of pink when I think of fall and sports, and I think
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
yeah.
Those joining us here at Cliff Keen Arena are having a great one. 21-21, close set to start us off tonight.
I'm about to say, and if we look at this, and if we look at Michigan right now, let's look at the hitting percentage. Like Elda Matrician, 3 kills on 4 attempts. She's hitting 750. The MBO's hitting 400. Allison Jacobs has been hitting 200, but she's had some crucial blocks for this team. Allison Jacobs with 2, the MBO with 3, and I mean, looking through the lineup, I mean, this has been a really good game in terms of offense for Michigan.
For sure. Very long replay, as I think we're about to get the call. Call stands. Hoosiers get the point. So we're all tied up here, 21-21 as we end, or as we near the end of this first set. It's been a back and forth set.
Yeah.
Both teams striking, but Hoosiers looks like they win the challenge. I believe that's number 10, Krichkovich, up to serve now for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, and mind you, too, Michigan also will be losing their challenge on top of that since it was unsuccessful. That might be crucial later on the game.
For sure. Krichkovich received by Cochran. And what a great kill by Jaden Yeager.
Yeah.
Putting in the perfect spot.
A bit of a long ball. That's been something that Michigan has had some issues with, just receiving the ball and giving it right back to the enemy, the opposite team, and they're just able to generate some points off that.
And a service error by the Hoosiers, and Michigan ties it up, 22-22.
Yeah, again, this has been an interesting last 2 points. You know, the teams making some little mistakes, and right now this is getting tense. This is getting real tense.
Ella Demetrician up to serve, received by Jager, and she's going for the kill, and it looks like Ella Demetrician just couldn't get the dig off.
Yeah, and it looks like on that attack, the ball was hit a little bit flat, you know, going off the fingertips, changing the trajectory of the ball while getting past the block, and that was just a great move.
Yeager up to serve now as they lead 23-22. And a service error, another service error by the Hoosiers, 23-23. We are all tied up.
Yeah, before these last 2 service errors, Indiana was perfect on the day in terms of serving. And now, you know, in a close situation, they're slipping up.
Maddie Cochran for a very crucial serve, received by Jackson to Krichkovich, to Cortzelis. Oh, and Allison Jacobs just couldn't get there for the dig. Hoosiers point, 24, they make it set point.
Oh, that's brutal. The ball was blocked, but it didn't get over the net, kind of dribbled on top of it, ended up falling on the Michigan side, and this is set point for Indiana.
Hannah Leffridge up the serve. Received by Demetrician to Burke to Jacobs. Great dig by Hannah Leffridge. Cortzeas going for her own number. And the point goes to the Hoosiers as there looks like there was a touch by the Wolverines, and they take set 1.
Yeah, we got Leffridge. You know, we were talking, she's not usually the starting libero for this team. Made a clutch play there, just able to just reach out and just get a little bit of a touch on her. And that was the key play there to end this 25-23. Michigan goes down, Indiana up. You know,
this has kind of been the theme for the Wolverines this year. Just not being able to close out these close sets. We saw that a lot against the Wisconsin Badgers last Sunday. all 3 sets were within 3 to 4 points of each other, but unfortunately the Wolverines just couldn't finish the job.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out something really quick for this Michigan team. They are leading in digs, they're leading in blocks, they are leading in hit percentage. However, they just 14 kills to Michigan's 9. Even though, you know, Indiana had 4 attack errors, had a couple service errors near the end, and just, yeah, I think a big thing we saw too is service aces. Let's look at that. Indiana had 6 to Michigan 3. And yeah, that was just little mistakes, little tiny mistakes ended up being the big thing here for Michigan.
The Wolverines proving that they can hang, though, as hopefully they kind of settle in, get their feet back.
Yeah, especially when they've had just a horrible schedule for any team to open up Big Ten play.
Very difficult for the Wolverines as they started off with Nebraska, then playing a very great Michigan State team on the road. Gets the win out against number 10 Minnesota or Wisconsin on the road, and now they're playing yet another ranked team here with number 20 Indiana. And something I like to point out with Indiana, talk about their freshman class. I mean, wow.
Oh yeah, no, they've had a phenomenal freshman class. I mean, you just gotta sit there and clap. Having and be dominant and being for Indiana so far.
For sure. So the Hoosiers take set 1. 25 to 23.
You know, and I know you've been talking about what I've been seeing. What have you been seeing?
You know, like you said, just the little mistakes by the Wolverines here, kind of costing them this first set. But overall, I'm liking the offensive attack by the Wolverines here. I think on defense they have some things to sharpen up. Just limiting the mistakes off the service errors especially.
Also, one thing I'd like to shout out, Krushkovic, freshman setter for this Indiana team, 7 assists. She had a really phenomenal. She was an important part of a really good Indiana first set.
Just to shout out these freshmen real quick for the Hoosiers. Avery Freeman has seen some play time tonight. Audrey Jackson, Hannah Leffridge, the 2 starting liberos for tonight. Charlotte Vinson, the highest recruit in Indiana history, hasn't seen much play time this year yet due to injury. And then, like you said, Krichkovic, phenomenal setter. Then we have Victoria Gray, a great middle blocker. Rounding it out, Jaden Yeager. All of these freshmen have played crucial minutes for the Hoosiers, and they have been absolutely outstanding. They haven't looked like freshmen. They've looked like veterans.
And Yeager, 6 kills, hitting 455. She really was all over the place for Indiana. She was a big part of this set.
For sure. Morgan Burke is up to serve now as we get set 2 underway. Wolverines looking to bounce back after that close loss in set 1, and up and away we go. Receive ball by the Hoosiers. Krichkovic to Jaeger, and Allison Jacobs goes for the dig but doesn't get it. Tipped out of bounds, Hoosiers point.
Yeah, that's just, again, when you are hitting and you got someone right in front of you, being able to bounce that ball off of someone ricocheting off, it is a science. It is a real science, and being able to put the ball there is incredible.
For sure. Hoosiers serve, received by Cochran. Ella Demetrician going for the attack. Doesn't go anywhere. Krichkovic. And it looks like Cortez' attack goes out of bounds and actually hits the official there.
Yeah, hey, luckily for him, it looked like it just hit him in the chest, you know. that was taking a real shot there, though. That's like taking a punch to the chest.
Wolverines get the point. Ella Demetrician up to serve now.
Those balls are, they hurt.
Barely gets over the net. And once again, the Indiana Hoosiers attack, looks like that time by Avery Tatum, just goes out of bounds. Wolverines take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate. She had the baseline there, just went out of bounds.
Demetrician up to serve again, received by the Hoosiers. Krichkovic to Tatum, just finds a soft spot in the zone, but Maddie Cochran, what a dig! Jenna Haynes puts it back up. Allison Jacobs just kind of sets it over, and the Hoosiers cannot handle it. Wolverines get the point as they take the lead 3-1.
Crafty touch there, but you got to give it all the credit in the world to Cochran. An incredible
What a dig.
What a dig. She's so talented. She started every single game for Aaron,
Demetrition, and another service error for the Wolverines.
But yeah, back to Cochran. Again, I'd like to make that clear because that is a kind of a really crazy stat. She has played every game of Aaron Virtue's tenure.
Workhorse for Virtue as Yeager up to serve. Burke to Johnson, and a great dig by Yeager. And a great dig by Demetrition as Hoosiers attack doesn't go anywhere. Jacobs just kind of sets it over. Krichkovich to Yeager, out of bounds again. Wolverines get the point. Looks like Jaden Yeager is just not quite finding the boundaries this set.
Look, hey, you know, this is me being completely unbiased. I thought that was in. I thought that was a great touch, but you can look on the replay, just a little out of bounds there.
Maddie Cochran up the serve now. Received by the Hoosiers. Krichkovich to Avery Tatum. Great dig by Morgan Burke. Lydia Johnson resets. Allison Jacobs just sends it over. Victoria Gray. And, oh, wow, what a great kill by Cortseas.
Yeah, I mean, off that free ball there for Indiana, just a great ball by Cortseas. She just hit that ball down, fell down on the Michigan side, bouncing off a player. That was a good placement there.
Hannah Lethbridge, the talented freshman, up to serve once again. Received by Cochran to Burke. To Niambio, and looks like that kill was just out of bounds as the Hoosiers tie it up 4-4.
I do like that attempt, though. You know, the body was looking more straight. She could go anywhere with that. She kind of curves it to the left. Just fell out of bounds, but, I mean, there was no one there. That was a great attempt.
For sure. Hannah Lethbridge up the serve once again. Received by the Wolverines. Johnson diving into the bench to try to get the crazy pass by Demetrition, unable. Hoosiers get the point.
Yeah, the volleyball moves in mysterious bounce.
Just an awkward bounce there.
Yeah.
Hannah Lethbridge up the serve once again. Received by Jacobs to Cochran. Jacobs just kind of sets it over. Krichkovich, Tatum goes for the kill, and that one's in bounds.
Again, it's very much like there's a lot of sports where it's like that, where if you just have the ability to go right down the line, it's like in tennis. If you're able to go down the line like that, that's going to be a point 99% of the time.
Take the lead 6-4. Lethbridge up the serve. Received by Cochran to Burke to Jacobs. And looks like that one was tipped out of bounds. Wolverines finally get one back. 6-5 the score.
You know what I'm seeing again? Another close set. I mean, this is getting scrappy again. You know, hey, this is some beautiful ball that we're watching, some beautiful volleyball.
Samara Gordon and Camille Edwards check in for the Wolverines. Audrey Jackson checks in for the Hoosiers. Edwards up the serve, received by Yeager. And Tatum just kind of sets it over, and she catches the Wolverines off guard. Hoosiers get the point as they now lead 7-5.
You know, that was a little crafty. Kind of paused on that ball. The Ambio, I think she timed it with the Ambio's jump. Just got it, just hit it a little later than I think the Ambio thought, and got a free point there.
Avery Tatum up the serve now, received by Cochran. Edwards, the Ambio says, I can do that too, as she basically just does the exact same thing, just kind of tips it over.
Yeah, and I think that we got to talk about that assist too. It was just really crafty, just straight to the point, not a lot of air on it, and the Ambo, it just running quick with it, running with just a nice little tip in.
Allison Jacobs up the serve now, and she fires that one, received well by Jackson, and Cortez, what a kill. Wow.
That was a real quick point there. Just really, you know, it was such a good point that I really don't have any words for it. It's kind of taking the words out of my mouth. Like, I can't believe it.
And now Cortez is up the serve. So the Hoosiers are leading 8-6 here in set number 2. Received by Demetrition to Edwards to Gordon. Ooh. And the Wolverines get the point. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of error on Indiana there.
Jenna Haynes comes in for Maddie Cochran. Wolverines playing without a libero right now, playing all bigs. Then we have Serena Niambio, up the serve. And the Hoosiers just can't get a handle of her serve. A serve is ace for Niambio as they do a little dance in their huddle.
Yeah, just a bad pass, an awkward pass there. I mean, I don't think anyone was ready for it. It just ends up being a free play for Michigan, a free point for Michigan.
8-8 the score. All tied up here now. As Niambio up the serve once again. Received by Jackson to Krichkovich to Kortseas one more time, and she's been on fire this set.
I bet, yeah, she has really woken up and has been dominant, and really off of these like really nicely put passes, not passes, these really nice put kills where it's just ending off, just bouncing off of someone else's hand, arm, something like that. It's a really good skill. That's a really nice skill to have.
For sure. Avery Freeman up now to serve. Received by Cochran to Edwards. Looks like a little net touch there by Edwards as the Hoosiers get the point as they now lead 10-8.
Yeah, a little net error on that serve, but even then, I think that Indiana was going to capitalize that regardless, I think.
For sure. Avery Freeman up to serve once again. Received by Cochran to Edwards. And a great kill by Ella Demetrician. And it goes out of bounds, though. I thought that one was touched.
No, yeah, I thought so too. But even then, I like the cross-court attempt going from left to right. Just ended up being a little bit out of bounds, a little too much power on it.
For sure. Hoosiers lead 11-8. So the serve is up and away, and what a block. Looks like that was Victoria Gray and Jaden Yeager at the line.
I mean, that was perfectly timed. They timed their jump perfectly. And there's nothing you can really do about that. It's a beautiful, beautiful defense there.
12-8, the Hoosiers lead now. Freeman to Maddie Cochran. Edwards, Jacobs just kind of tips it over. Received well by the Hoosiers. Demetrician just trying to prevent the Hoosiers from even getting set up. And looks like once again, Hoosiers get a point off of a Michigan tip.
Corsellis is just feasting. That's the best way I can. She's just feasting on this Michigan team.
Having a great set so far.
She's had an incredible set. She is now leading the entire contest with 8 kills on the day, hitting 400. She's awakened for this team. She's been absolutely on fire. They're on a 5-0 scoring run.
For sure.
And as the Michigan sing-along goes on, what do you think that Michigan has to do?
I think they kind of, I like the timeout here by Aaron Virtue. Just kind of settle in, resettle in. Looks like the Hoosiers are kind of 5-0 run, just kind of slow things down, try to minimize the mistakes, try to minimize bounds. Just kind of, like you said, with the cross-court offense from Jenna Haynes, it was a great look, just went a little bit too far.
Yeah, and the hitting percentage for Michigan has gone down off of, and right now they're under 200. One of the most efficient teams in the Big Ten. A lot of just really efficient, really great offensive players. It's just been, again, like you said, it's not that they aren't taking great shots. They've been taking incredible shots, and I think you can agree with me on that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just, hasn't fallen the way that they've wanted to.
Yeah. The players come back to the court now. It looks like for the Wolverines, it's going to be Demetrician, Edwards, Jacobs, Haynes, Cochran, and Gordon. For the Hoosiers, it's going to be Smith, Kortseas, Freeman, Yeager, Gray, Krichkovich, and Freeman. So Avery Freeman's up to serve with the Hoosiers leading 13-8. Wolverines looking to try to get some back. Received by Cochran to Edwards to Haynes. What a great kill. The Wolverines needed that one.
Parted the Red Sea. That's what I felt. Just right through the middle of two Indiana defenders there, and a perfectly put ball. You can't put that kill anywhere better.
For sure. As now it looks like Morgan Burke and Lydia Johnson check in for the Wolverines. Audrey Jackson checks in for the Hoosiers. Serve is up and away. Krichkovich to Gray. Wolverines receive it well. Back up to the Hoosiers now. And Jaden Yeager just finds a soft zone in the defense. It just kind of puts it down. Hoosiers get the point.
Yeah, just fired it right away into no man's land, right in the middle of the court. And again, good touch, great awareness to know you don't have to put a lot of oomph on that. Especially for a young player, having that recognition, you don't have to hit it 100% every time is great.
For sure. Krichkovich to serve, received by Cochran to Burke to Haynes, and she's met at the line. Great effort by the Wolverines to keep it alive, though, as both teams reset. And it looks like Victoria Gray just gets the kill. Great play there by Gray.
Yeah, we haven't heard her name a lot tonight, but she's been another really impactful player for this Indiana team, and right there, she gets a kill.
Once again, another freshman, Victoria Gray. It's Krichkovich up to serve to Burke, and it just looks like a weird set by Burke there.
Yeah, awkward set. You don't really see that type of set from Burke. She's been the engine for this Michigan offense. They're running a 5-1 because they know that she's an incredible engine for this team.
For sure. Krzyzewicz up the serve again. This time received by Burke to Jacobs. Demetrician just kind of sets it over, finds a soft spot in the zone. 16-10. Wolverines are trying to make a comeback here.
And I feel like she's done that a lot this seg.
Yeah, for sure.
She's been, again, in this game, she just had these crafty hits.
Wolverines are going to need to get crafty as they have a little bit of a size disadvantage at the net. The Demetrician up the serve now. Received by Jaeger to Krzyzewicz to Jaeger. Great effort by Morgan Burke. Lydia Johnson puts it back up and over to Jackson, and then to Cortez, Cochran to Allison Jacobs. Hoosiers play it well. Jaden Jaeger's blocked at the line by Jenna Haynes and Lydia Johnson. And we got quite a rally going up here now. Lydia Johnson is rejected at the line though by Jaden Jaeger, another very talented freshman in this Indiana class.
You can just say that pretty much about anyone on this team, and you're going to probably be right 9 times out of 10. It was a great point by Michigan, too. It's just it got shut down at the line.
Yeah, for sure. Jaden Jaeger up the serve now as Minnesota leads. And a service error. Wolverines trying to crawl back in this one, but hasn't really been getting anything going as they still trail 11-16. But now Maddie Cochran up the serve.
Yeah, and the Ambio's back in the game, adding some defense right there at the net.
For sure. Cochran received well by the Hoosiers. Looks like Burke to Ella Demetrician, received well by Avery Tatum there. And Cortez, rare mistake by Cortez as her kill goes straight into the net.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan was playing a really good game off of that free ball, and then, Cortez just fired it right into the net. I thought she had a really good opportunity too. I thought she was going to rocket that right over the net, right into that, right end of the Michigan defense.
2 points in the row for the Wolverines now. 17-12. They trail. And what a great block at the line by Allison Jacobs and Serena Niambio. Catching some heat now are the Wolverines as Indiana takes the timeout.
All right, Michigan heard no bell. They're still fighting. They're still thriving. I mean, that was an incredible block there. And again, like I've said, that has been a key, net defense. If you're able to defend the net, especially for a Michigan team that really isn't, tall, really isn't big at the net, being able to, generate some great offense through defense, that's going to be key.
Sure. Took time out here by the Indiana Hoosiers as the Wolverines got 3 in a row. They still trail 13-17. Still got a little bit of ways to crawl back here, but looking a lot better. Looking like they're starting to find their feet a little bit.
Yeah, they're on a quick little 3-0 scoring run. And, I think it's part of it has been they've been able to capitalize off of some little tiny mistakes that Indiana has been making.
For sure.
In the middle of the set, but,
that was really the key against their their win against number 10 Minnesota last week, is capitalizing off the Golden Gophers' mistakes. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job of that here tonight. And it's really surprising that as for the Hoosiers, a team with so many freshmen, they don't make mistakes.
They don't make freshman mistakes. They play like they're seniors, they're grad transfers. They play not at like their age, but they just play with just an incredible sense for the game,
for
being young collegiate athletes, and it's really beautiful to see.
For sure, as Maddie Cochran is up to serve now for the Wolverines. Trying to keep this streak going as they trail 13-17. Cochran received by Jackson. Krzyzewicz. Oh, and it looks like Cortez is blocked at the net. Both teams able to reset now.
Ooh.
And I think that was Cortez again who gets the point there.
Yeah,
for the Hoosiers.
She ends that 3-0 scoring run of Michigan. They're going up by 5, but
18-13 now. The Hoosier lead as Hannah Leffridge checks in to serve. That barely gets over. Great dig by Maddie Cochran there. It's Allison Jacobs gets the point there. Great kill.
Again, just going down the line, that's an incredible talent. That's something where you just have to have a lot of skill and a lot of confidence to know that you can make those hits. And I mean, if you want to talk about confidence, like no one better to talk about.
For sure. Camille Edwards up to serve now. She checks in. Same with Samara Gordon. Great dig by Edwards. Up to Cochran and then to Jacobs. And just a great block by Ella Borzema. And looks like it was Avery Tatum there.
Again,
strong block by the Hoosiers.
She averages 1.5 blocks a set. She is a demon.
For sure. Hoosiers lead 19-14. Up to serve now is Jessica Smith. Received by Demetrician. And Jacobs just kind of finds a soft spot in the zone, just tips it over. And the Wolverines get the point, 19-15.
Hey, this set is still not over. I mean, this is an important set. You can't go down 2-0 when then the pressure's all on you to get 2 more.
For sure. Jacobs with the serve now. Received by Jackson to Krichkovich. And a great kill by Ella Borzema. And it looks like the Hoosiers now lead 20-15. Kritseis is up to serve now. Received by Cochran to Edwards. To Gordon. Great dig by Hannah Leffridge. Jaden Yeager. And a great kill by Yeager is once again off the Wolverines' tip.
And in my opinion, that ball looked like it might have been going out of bounds before that tip. That's just a brutal break for anybody in that situation, especially down 6.
For sure. Cortez up to serve again. Cochran. Jacobs just kind of sets it over. Cortez, Krichkovich, Yeager, great kill for the Hoosiers as they now lead 22-15, running away with this one.
Yeah, and timeout called. Yeah, you just have to call a timeout there. You kind of think, how are we going to come back? I mean, Indiana 3 points away from going up 2-0, and if that would be impactful. I mean, I've seen comebacks from this Michigan team. You know, they go down 2-0 early. You know, you'd think a team would be incredible when the game's on the valley. Even though, you know, this year, a lot of 3-0 sweeps against some talented teams, I don't expect this team to just curl up in a ball and die.
For sure, the Indiana Hoosiers here, as they've just been not finding as much success as they have in the first set with their attacks. Look like Hoosiers are playing really great at the net, getting a lot of blocks.
Yeah, and that's not a thing of like Michigan's making mistakes. I don't think Michigan has been making a lot of mistakes. This Indiana team is just legit. They're a scary team, and I will be a little excited to see where they take this momentum. Again, they are playing to make history for their program, and if they can continue this hot streak, they're going to be a fun team come the NCAA tournament.
For sure. The Wolverines, on the other hand, just fighting to try to make it to that tournament. Each year, Aaron Virtue's team has done better and better, looking to break through this year, but just in such a talented Big Ten, it's obviously going to be very difficult, as Cortez is now up to serve. For the Hoosiers, they lead 22-15 here in set number 2. Received by Demetrician to Edwards. Just kind of sets it back over. Krichkovich tries to go for the dunk. Wolverines respond well. Samara Gordon tips it over. Great block there by Niambio. And the pass by the Hoosiers just kind of goes out of bounds, and the Wolverines get one back.
Yeah, that was perfectly timed. It looks like Indiana was going a little too fast there, and the Niambio was just able to make a play, make a good defensive play, and get this ball back for Michigan.
For sure. Trixie McMillan comes back into the game now for the Wolverines. And what a great kill by Ella Borzema there.
I mean, I've talked about her defense, but she's an incredible offensive player. You know, I've talked about efficiency with this Michigan team. She is just as efficient as any of this elite hitting squad for Michigan.
For sure. In comes Gordon, and in comes Maddie Cochran here, as Avery Freeman also checks in, and she's up the serve, received by Cochran. And just a great kill by Jaden Yeager, ending the set early, as now the Hoosiers are at set point as they lead 24-16.
That was just a brutal overpass there, and just teams are able to capitalize, and just that when they see an overpass, it's barbecue chicken alert.
Freeman with the serve. Edwards to Demetrician. Great dig by Jaden Yeager. Edwards to Gordon.
Oh.
Smear reporting the point. Wolverines are rewarded the point. Looks like another net error by the Hoosiers. The Wolverines still trail 17-24. Looking for some magic here in Cliff Keen Arena to come back from this one.
Yeah, they're down 7, and if they can go on a magical run, you know, fingers crossed, you know, you pray into whatever God you believe in. If they can get that, remember, it's 1st to 2.
For sure. Morgan Burke with the serve. Krichkovich. And a blocked, but out of bounds it goes once again, and the Hoosiers win set number 2, 25-17.
You know, that's a big set for Indiana.
For
and
sure.
You fear that maybe what you're seeing is a little more of the same for Michigan. Would be if they drop this next set to Indiana. This would be their 4th 3-0 sweep in the last 5 games, and the incredible stretch of just
4 out of 5 actually.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forget. 4 out of 5 with that win against Minnesota, and it is a very brutal blow. You at least got that win over Minnesota, which you got to talk about that Minnesota team too. They've been dealing with some injuries, and they've still been able to succeed. That just goes to show you the program they have there. And Michigan, I mean, they know what that experience is like. The first year of Aaron Virtue's season, incredibly injured roster. They finished 7-25, I believe, on the season. An incredibly just unlucky stretch where, like, Allison Jacobs was out. He had a bunch of injuries. And, you know, Michigan, they've been slowly trying to build and be better and grow under Virtue. And I'm seeing a great team. It's competitive against some of the best teams in the country, not in just the Big Ten, in the country.
Aaron Virtue definitely seeing improvement every single season. Is it enough to keep up with this very talented Big Ten, though?
I mean, especially, you know, I feel like we still somehow feel the effects of, you know, realignment, and it's through everything.
For
and
sure.
Knowing that you still have to go up against a tough UCLA team that was ranked before this Indiana Hoosiers team came into their house and just whooped them. I think it was it might have been a 3-1, 3-0 sweep. I mean, it was a really bad time. They also have to play USC, who they also got beat by this Indiana team.
Yes.
They're still ranked number 24 in the country. And on top of that, you still, I believe, have to play Penn State. You have to play
UCLA.
Nebraska again.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to still have to play Nebraska again. They're going to be coming here to Michigan to play that game. And then, of course, you get a rivalry game at Michigan State, who does have your number so far, 3-0 game, you know, a couple days ago. You just gotta, it's just been a weird time. It's been a weird time for Michigan volleyball.
As like you said earlier, tonight is the block cancer event for the Michigan volleyball team. Looks like we have some people getting a standing ovation here at Cliff Keen Arena. About 2 minutes left until we get back into the action here.
You know,
Wolverines looking to claw back into this one.
You know, I'm giggling a little bit. Okay, of course, for the pink out there, you've got to play Pink Pony Club, I think. Yeah, it's like, hey, you can't be, could you be a little less on the nose, you know? But, like, you know, you got to play it. You know, it has pink in the name.
For sure.
It's not like it's a bad song at all.
For sure. As the Wolverines are looking for a lot of magic now to come back from this one, down 2-0, needing a reverse sweep.
Yeah, a little comeback here. Again, I've said before, we've seen this happen in previous years and previous games with Michigan Wolverines. And I still believe that they can do it. I mean, they've had, Woodhaven. Shout out Woodhaven Middle School Volleyball. That's a local school nearby where I'm from, my hometown in Brownstown. So get a little shout out, just completely ignore what I was saying. But yeah, no, this is a team that I believe that, they kind of clean up on some of the mistakes, get a couple balls to go their way. They've been attacking some open space, just not been able to get it inside the line.
For sure. It's the Wolverines. What do you think they have to change for this set? Anything you'd like to see in particular?
For me, what I'd like to see, again, it's kind of cleaning up on some of these passes. I mean, this is a team that lives and dies by, the set. And I've seen just a couple times where, they dig out a ball or they pass a ball and it just goes over. When you have those balls that just kind of go over the net, gives Indiana a free opportunity at another. You can't give Indiana free opportunities. You have to limit their free balls. You got to limit every single extra attempt for Indiana. If you can do that, clean up some of the mistakes, I do think this Michigan team can kind of scrap back. And as soon as it goes to 2-1, then the pressure's on Indiana. They haven't had you need this is an inexperienced team,
sure.
A lot of freshmen. And that pressure of, look, they're fighting back. They're not dying. They're fighting back. You can go in that fourth set feeling a lot better if you can just claw it out.
For sure. And, this really has been the theme of Michigan's season so far, is just not being able to close out these tough sets. All these 3-0 score lines, they don't really dictate about how close this game even is. Even against Nebraska, the first set was really, really close. I believe it was like 21-25, a close set, and then they just kind of lost their way there. But the Wolverines looking to change it tonight. It's like a starting lineup for the Wolverines can be Cochran, Haynes, Demetrician, Burke, Johnson, and Jacobs.
I do think that's kind of interesting. Going a little small there for the Michigan, taking the Ambio out for the beginning of the set.
For sure. For the Hoosiers, Krichovic, Kortseis, Leffridge, Tatum, Gray, and Yeager, as Krichovic is going to be the one to serve. Start us off in set number 3. Received by Haynes to Johnson to Jacobs, starting off fast, and that's a great way for the Wolverines to start.
You got to start off strong, especially when you're down 2-0, and hey, that's a real strong start.
For sure. Allison Jacobs proving why she should still be in that All-American conversation. Maddie Cochran up to serve now. Received by Yeager to Krichovic. And that one is out of bounds. Wolverines get the point.
I mean, that was a great attempt there. Just sailed a little out. It didn't have that little downforce. It just didn't fall right on the line.
For sure. As Maddie Cochran now is up to serve for the Wolverines yet again. Up and over we go. Received by Yeager to Krichovic to Yeager once again, and this time it is blocked. Serena Niambio and Lydia Johnson. Wolverines up 3-0.
Niambio, that again, 3-0 run to open up the set. That's a beautiful start. And Niambio, one of the best blockers that I've seen here at Michigan. I mean, she is on fire.
Cochran to serve, received by Kortseis, Krichovic, Yeagers. And it looks like that was once again tipped out of bounds by the Wolverines, and the Hoosiers get the point.
That's been something that has happened a lot to this Michigan team. Just a tipped out of bounds ball.
For
brutal
sure.
break there.
Nothing you can really do about that one here. As Jaden Yeager is now up to serve for the Hoosiers. Received by Cochran to Burke to Niambio. What a great kill. Wolverines looking to carry some of that momentum, as they lead 4-1 now.
It's important to have if someone can come out of a timeout or come out after the end of a set and just take over a game to start out the point, that's important. And Niambio has been that girl.
Camille Edwards checks in now, and she's also up to serve, received by Jackson, Krichovic, Kortseis, and this time she gets the point. Kortseis once again striking for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, that ball ricocheted off Niambio. I believe her left arm just went right at Jacobs, but I mean, there was nothing really she could do about that.
For sure. Hannah Leffridge up that serve. Received by the Wolverines to Cochran, to Jacobs, and blocked by Ella Borzema and Avery Tatum. Great block by the Hoosiers there.
Yeah, that was a pretty one. Just an absolutely gorgeous block. And
they still trail 3-4.
Yeah.
Wolverines looking to keep their lead. Hannah Leffridge up the serve. Received by Demetrician to Edwards. Looks like a net infraction by Cortseas. Reaching over the net there. As now they extend their lead 5-3 with Allison Jacobs up the serve. Wolverines coming out pretty hot in this one. Looking to continue that streak as they lead 5-3 here in set number 3. Allison Jacobs up to serve. It's like Indiana having some substitutions here. It's like Audrey Jackson chucks in for Hannah Lethridge. But here we go, Allison Jacobs. Up and over, great serve! And a great dig by Jackson though. And Cortseas' kill is once again tipped by the Wolverines and it goes out of bounds. And the Hoosiers just piling the points off the Wolverines' tips.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's been a consistent thing. I mean, also, too, I'd like to add, like, Indiana has 20 more attacks than Michigan right now. They have had a lot of opportunities to score, and they've taken advantage of it.
Jessica Smith checks in to serve now. Ella Demetrician, kind of a crazy pass. Jacobs handles it well, though. Cortseas going for the kill. Responded well by the Wolverines. Cochran up to Demetrician, just kind of tips it over. Krichkovich to Tatum, doesn't get it up and over though. Krichkovich again just kind of sets it over for the Hoosiers point. Great point by Krichkovich as the setter calls her own number.
Yeah, that's sometimes a real talent. You know, you can just kind of slide one in there as the setter because who expects that?
Yeah, catching the Wolverines off guard. Jessica Smith back up the serve, received by Demetrician to Jacobs. Demetrician going for the kill. Great dig by Cortseas. Cortseas going for the kill. Net at the line by Gordon and Niambio. Looks like a miscommunication by the Wolverines as nobody goes for the ball. Hoosiers take their first lead of the set, 6-5.
Yeah, it's just everyone kind of hesitated there. That's just a brutal point there. I mean,
can't afford to have those mistakes here in a close set 3. Jessica Smith once again up the serve. And once again, Krichkovich calls her own number and just kind of sets it back over. Wolverines aren't ready, and the Hoosiers extend their lead 7-5.
You know, it's a 4-0 scoring run, and you know what it's been? It's been these free play opportunities. It's been these overpass balls. It's been extra attempts by this Indiana team that they've been able to take advantage of.
For sure. Camille Edwards checks in now for the Wolverines. Received by Cochran. Edwards to Niambio, and Niambio is having a fantastic set so far as she gets the kill.
Yeah, that again, you know, this team needs a hero, and she has been a hero for this Michigan team. She's up to her 5th kill on the day.
For sure, I think 3 of them have come from the set so far as Niambio is now up to serve. Received by Jessica Smith to Krichkovich. Cortseas. And wow, it looks like we had 3 Wolverines defenders at the net there. And once again, just an awkward tip.
Yeah.
The Hoosiers get the point as now they lead 8-6.
Looks like it bounced off the palm of a hand and just ended up sliding right down on the Michigan side.
Yeah, for sure. Cortseas is now up to serve for the Hoosiers as they're leading 8-6 now. Wolverines cannot let this lead get away from them. Received by Gordon. What a kill by Jenna Haynes. Keeping the Wolverines in it.
Yeah,
and a substitution here for the Wolverines, too, as it looks like number 11, Amalia Simmons, is checked in.
Yeah, and Burke is coming back into the game. She's up to serve right now.
Looks like the Wolverines just trying some new lineups, trying to get something going. Morgan Burke with the serve. Krichkovich. And a great block by number 11, Amalia Simmons, just gets it back and over, and the game is all tied up.
Yeah. Like you know, I talked about, hey, some people are going to have to come in and step up and, you know, play some really good minutes. I mean, we are seeing that happen right now. some of these unsung players of this
Malia
Michigan team
Simmons
are making plays.
has only played in 8 games so far, and she has come up big so far in this one already. Her first set being checked in, gets the point for the Wolverines, ties it up.
You know,
8-8 now.
It's just that in every single sport with a bench, it's just that ability to come off the bench and make some plays.
For sure. Morgan Burke to serve. Krichkovich. Kortseis, and that one is in. Wow.
Oh my God, that's a beauty.
Kortseis has been on fire this game. Definitely the MVP, in my opinion, for the Hoosiers so far.
Yeah, no, her and Jaeger, 13 kills, 11 kills. Like, I mean, this is a similar thing to the UCLA game.
Avery Freeman checks in now, and she's up to serve. Simmons to Burke to Simmons. And that one goes just out of bounds. Oh, there was a tip? Maybe? There was a tip. Amalia Simmons keeps her hot streak going on. So we had one official signal out of bounds. The other official signal tip. Official call was there's tip, as now we're tied up 9-9, and Amalia Simmons stepping up big this set so far is up to serve.
You know, I have a philosophy of you got to take those.
For sure. Amalia Simmons up, received by Smith. Krichkovich. And a great block by Jenna Haynes and Lydia Johnson. Looks like they just touched the net there. Once again, the little mistakes by the Wolverines giving the Hoosiers the point there.
It's just, yeah, good plays that keep on happening from the Michigan team. It's just been tiny, tiny errors.
So it's Krichkovich up to serve for the Hoosiers. They lead now 10-9. Allison Jacobs going for the kill, and that one counts.
Hey,
Allison Jacobs ties the game up.
Scrappy. Allison Jacobs, a veteran presence for this team. This is her grad season, and she is not going to go down to the Hoosiers without a fight.
For sure. Maddie Cochran now up and over. And a service ace by Maddie Cochran. Wolverines take the lead back 11-10.
Again, just these little moments here, little moments there, when Indiana gives this Michigan team any sort of life, you know, that has been important. You know,
sure. Looks like we're wiping some sweat off the floor here. Maddie Cochran looking to serve once again.
Yeah.
Wolverines now lead 11-10 here in set number 3. Cochran up to serve. Up and over. Received by Jaeger to Jackson. And a great kill by Jaeger.
Oh.
And honestly, a great dig by Morgan Burke. Just a little hard to control there for the Wolverines, and the Hoosiers get the point right back.
I mean, it's a tough play just to get your hands on the ball off of a hit like that.
For sure.
I think everyone was just like not expecting it.
For sure. Jaden Jaeger now up to serve again for the Hoosiers. All tied up 11-11. Cochran to Burke, sets it up for Lydia Johnson. Kind of met at the line. Burke sets it up one more time. This time Jacobs is denied. But the tip goes out of bounds. The block goes out of bounds, pardon me. And the Wolverines are now up 12-11.
Again, you know, that's been something we've said has happened a lot to this Michigan team. And now we're starting to see Indiana make some, like, tiny mistakes, tiny errors that, again, I don't think this Michigan team is going to go down with a fight, especially against a very young Indiana team.
For sure. Camille Edwards checks in now, received by Jaeger. Krichkovich to Kortseis. Allison Jacobs just kind of sets it over. Hoosiers reset. Great block by Serena Niambio, but once again just goes out of bounds. A little too much heat on that one. I mean, the Hoosiers tied it up.
It was a great play by Niambia, but again, hitting that ball off at an angle off of a person's body has been really key for this Indiana team.
For sure. Audrey Jackson with the serve now. And just a weird pass by Maddie Cochran. Nobody there as the Hoosiers reclaim the lead 13-12.
Yeah, those digs, those passes for Michigan, just a little off base, off touch.
This now is Hannah Lethbridge to serve. Cochran. And once again, just an awkward pass from Cochran, and nobody's home as the Hoosiers now get a 14-12 lead. Wolverines got to keep this one close. Hannah Lethbridge up to serve. Cochran to Edwards to Jacobs. And that one's tipped and out of bounds by the Hoosiers this time as the Wolverines get a crucial point back. still trail 13-14.
No, as much as there's been, you know, some small little accidents that have gone on in this court, Michigan's starting to get some of these breaks, and it's been really interesting to see.
Jacobs up the serve now, and that one just goes completely sideways. Serve is air for the Wolverines. Hoosiers reclaimed or extend their lead 15-13.
Yeah, and you got to call timeout there, which Michigan, I believe, has. That was just it just looked like an awkward serve in general. Even just like in the routine, in the throw, something looked off there, and the ball kind of went off her hand at a weird angle, went, you know, to the right, just a little down. But, you know, what have we seen from this Michigan team that has been a little different than that second set?
Obviously getting 2 crucial points for the Wolverines, keeping them in it. As now we have the T-shirt toss, the fans get on their feet.
Yeah, I wonder
as you were saying, though, with the Wolverines, looks like just higher energy plays. I feel like they're finding some offense a little bit. It's just, once again, the defense needs to step up just a tad.
Yeah, and it's not even like they aren't getting their hands on the ball, you know? They are, you know, digging the ball out. It's just it's not the best passes. It's not the best digs, you know? And again, clean up on the execution a little bit, because it's like the effort is there. This team is not giving up, especially when, you know, you're talking about you're down 2-0. You've been down 2-0 so many times this season. They're not giving up. They're not, that you can see it in their energy. They are still fighting. They are still just valiant warriors.
No, and as you say that, this is a great test for the Wolverines to dig deep and just try to fight back, as they, like you said, they've been in this position so many times before, and in a tough Big Ten, they probably will be in this position again, and they need to prove themselves right now and today that they are able to come back from these tough games. Now up to serve, as they lead 15-13 here in set number 3. Smith, serve is up and over, received by Simmons. And Simmons goes for the attack, and once again, just a tad out of bounds. A little too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, and they had Indiana there, you know, made it look like the ball was going to the ambio. It's just froze that Indiana defense. It just, again, went out of bounds there.
Jessica Smith up to serve once again. Received by Jacobs. And just a weird receive by Allison Jacobs. And the Hoosiers extend their lead now, 17-13. Hopefully this game isn't running away from the Wolverines.
Yeah,
here.
It's just looking like these little slip-ups in defensive execution.
And another timeout here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, the game is, you know, quick 3-0 scoring run in a close game 3. A close set 3, I apologize. I gotta get that terminology right. I'd also like to add something, too. Looking at this Indiana team, they, entering this game, they were one of like a handful of teams in the Big Ten that was hitting as a team over 300. 329 on the day. They have a efficient day. You know, 85 attacks, 41 kills. You know, a little more error, you know, a couple more errors than Michigan on that attack. But when you have so many opportunities to just hit the ball and just attack, you know, it doesn't really matter if you make a couple other errors if just the sample size is that great. You know, you learn that sample size is key in statistics.
For sure.
And this has been showing also on the court.
Just a little recap of our game so far. Back and forth, set 1, Hoosiers come out on top, 25-23. Set number 2, Hoosiers kind of a little bit more taking the driver's seat as they win 25-17. And now here we are in set 3, Wolverines trying to make a comeback here, down 13-17. Jessica Smith up the serve now. The Hoosiers on a little bit of a run here. Wolverines need to reignite their energy. Jacobs. It's Gordon, and a great reception by the Hoosiers here. And Cortez's kill goes out of bounds. A break for the Wolverines, and they needed that one.
Also, I'd like to add that Cochran, she had an opportunity to make contact with the ball, but she made the right call, saw that the ball was going out of bounds, just knew, hey, keep your hands close, don't go after it.
For sure. Serena Niambio up the serve, received by Jackson to Krichkovich. Cortez's kill goes into the net, but it looks like a maybe a net touch by the Wolverines there.
I think what happened is it did end up getting blocked by Michigan, but it went right back on into the net on their side.
Right, gotcha. So once again, Wolverines just the little mistakes as Cortez is up to serve. Cochran to Edwards to Jacobs. Nice reception by Cortez to Jaeger, and that one goes out of bounds, but a tip by the Wolverines.
I'm about to say, I think I could see it too. It looked like Allison Jacobs just had a little bit of contact with that ball. And that
Hoosiers extend their lead now to 19-14. Cortez back up to serve. Wolverines looking for life here in set number 3. Received by Maddie Cochran to Edwards to Simmons, and a great block there by Ella Borzema and Krichkovich and company as they now lead 20-14.
Yeah, I'd also like to add something that we haven't really talked about, and that has been Indiana serving. They have 10 service aces on the day compared to Michigan's 5, and that has been really impactful onto this game.
For sure. Sydney Schnickels checking in now. Same with Jenna Haynes. Wolverines once again mixing and matching their lineup, looking for some life here. Cortez up to serve to Maddie Cochran to Burke to Simmons, and a great block by Ella Borzema once again. Hoosiers are on fire right now.
You know, again, we mentioned her name for her defensive abilities, and again, just a beautiful block there to take a 7-point lead on Michigan. A 3-0 scoring run again for this Indiana team.
For sure. Cortez up to serve. Cochran. And Morgan Burke calls her own number, and that one works very well for Morgan Burke. Wolverines desperately needed that one. Hopefully they can catch some heat now. 21-15.
Yeah, Jessica Smith, she ran after the ball. She hustled herself out there. She tried to make a little bit of contact on the ball, but it went into the stands.
Burke serves it up and over. Jaeger, and a mistake by the Indiana Hoosiers. Like we said, a rare mistake. Michigan catching another break here.
But again, you know, I'd like to make that clear. Rare mistake.
Rare mistake.
Rare
which is
mistake.
Extremely surprising for a team that plays so many freshmen.
It's like I feel like we're like a broken record here. Oh my God, this is a freshman team. Oh my God, this is a freshman team. Freshman team that is number 20 in the country and probably be even more, because they're going to go play Michigan State. And I could see this team going out there, going to East Lansing and beating those Spartans too.
And you know, the most impressive part is they got 2 ranked road wins on the road.
Yeah, no.
On the other side of the country.
Yeah.
They went to UCLA or USC first, got the win, and then UCLA in a 5-set thriller and got the win again.
Yeah. To open Big Ten play, they pretty much haven't touched their home court at all. They've played 5 of their last. They're going to be playing 5 of their last 6 when they go to Michigan State tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Sunday. They're going to be playing 5 of their last 6 away. Again, hey, we talk about in sports a lot, you know, it's difficult being young and going on the road, not playing in your home turf, not playing with your home crowd in the stands. And for this team, again, young, true freshmen. We're not talking.
Sure.
We're not talking just underclassmen. True freshmen going out there and winning. It's a beautiful thing to see.
For the Wolverines, Sydney Schnickels is in the game once again, maybe looking for some size. And she's the tallest player for the Wolverines, 6'4". Morgan Burke up the serve, received by Jackson to Krichkovich. And what a great kill by Ella Borzema. She's been catching fire here too late in the set.
Again, and a beautiful cross-court hit right to left. Ended up right on the .com of the MichiganGoBlue.com little insignia right there on the court.
Hoosiers lead 22-16 here. Avery Freeman now up to serve. Maddie Cochran with the reception. Burke to Schnickels. And looks like it is received well by the Hoosiers. Wolverines looking to reset here. Simmons just kind of tips it over. Krichkovich calls her own number. Great dig by Maddie Cochran. Cochran just sets it over. Cortez to Krichkovich to Jaeger. Another great dig by Maddie Cochran here. Amalia Simmons and a great dig by Avery Freeman. Jenna Haynes ends the set. Wolverines desperately needed that one. Hopefully a little energy booster for them.
Yeah, Cochran, I think there's some ice in her veins. That was just some clutch defensive work from the libero from Michigan. She was all over the court. Just impressive play from her in these clutch next few points.
Amalia Simmons now up to serve. Krichkovich calls her own number and gets it once again.
She's been real sneaky with that. And again, in this game, in this next couple points where Indiana, each and every point has a little more weight to it, just getting a little
For
sneaky
sure.
one there is important.
And a crucial mistake by Krichkovich. Maybe a little freshman mistake there. As she gets a serve as air, Wolverines back against the wall. What can they do? As Maddie Cochran is now up to serve. They trail 18-23 here in set number 3, looking for life. Cochran to Tatum. And a great block there by Niambio and Schnickels. And what a kill by Jaden Yeager, as it is now set point for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, a little bit of a free ball there.
Just
And
finding the openness of the Michigan defense there.
yeah, just took advantage of a perfect opportunity.
Set point here as we have Jaden Yeager up to serve. And a service error by Yeager. Wolverines can't afford to make any mistakes. Their backs truly up against the wall now as Sydney Schnickels checks out and Trixie McMillan comes back in.
Service specialist for Michigan. She's coming in to get a couple points, make some magic happen.
24-19. Wolverines looking for that magic here. Kortseus, Krichkovich, and Avery Tatum ends the game on a fantastic kill. And the Hoosiers take this one 3-0.
Again, that is another just brutal loss. Repeatedly, this is the 4th game in the last 5 that ended in a 3-0 sweep for Michigan. And you sit there and think that's not, like, those games would be close. I don't know about you, but I felt like this was a really competitive game throughout.
This was, especially that first set and that third set. The second set kind of slipping away for the Wolverines. Looked a lot better in the first and third here. They just need to find a way to close out these tough sets.
They need to find a way to close them out and just, you know, when they get that lead, just rack up these stretches of just point after point, going on scoring runs. That was something I saw a lot out of Indiana, was just they kept on getting these scoring runs, you know, quick little 3-0 runs, 5-0 runs, and that really was detrimental to Michigan.
For sure. Wolverines are back here tomorrow at Cliff Keen Arena against Iowa. Just looking for anything to go their way right now. Obviously had a great win last week, but just a tough Big Ten schedule. And it's only going to get tougher. They have a few breaks here with Iowa and a Northwestern, both games that, in my opinion, the Wolverines should win. It's just now, can they capitalize against teams that are, can they pull off the upset like they did last week consistently? Can they show that they are a top 25 team?
And it's been brutal, and I think something that is going to be crucial in these next couple games is to limit these these free opportunities that we saw a lot. I saw a lot against Wisconsin when I watched it. I saw a lot today when I was going through and looking at the film against Nebraska. I saw a lot of that too, where, you know, Michigan will dig the ball and it will end up on the other side of the net for a free opportunity to just put the ball wherever you want it, and just to cut down on these little mistakes, these little passing errors.
For sure.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry. No, you're all good. It's just, if you can clean that up against some of these teams like Iowa and Northwestern, and then you have some big matches coming up afterwards, you can look real dangerous, because I see a vision. I see some execution. You just got to clean up everything in between.
For sure. Wolverines really need to catch fire now, coming in towards the end of the season, if they want any hopes of making the tournament, as they are now 1-4 in conference play. And to be fair, they have had a very tough opponent, or very tough opponents here. but still just needing to catch these wins, needing to catch these breaks. As like we said, tomorrow they face off against Iowa right here in Cliff Keen Arena, and then they go on the road to Northwestern. And next Sunday, Nebraska comes into town. I believe that game is sold out actually in Chrysler. Wolverines hoping to feed off the energy there to pull off a miraculous upset against that unbelievable Nebraska team.
Oh, they're just so talented. And I feel like that's every year, though. Nebraska is just one of the flagship programs in college volleyball. And I do believe that this is a team, a Michigan team that, you know, they come out swinging against a Nebraska team. You know, it's kind of any given game, you can create magic. We saw that against Minnesota.
For sure. And as we wrap up here tonight, what are some highlights that you saw from the game today for the Wolverines?
For Michigan, I think obviously you got to talk about Allison Jacobs and Serena Niambio. Those two really stuck out to me.
Co-captains.
Yeah, the co-captains.
Yep.
I mean, they played an incredible game at their positions. Niambio was just flying across the court, getting blocks. She was the engine for Michigan in that third set, really in the beginning. And then Allison Jacobs, I mean, this is her grad season. This is her final season in Michigan volleyball, and she is playing on fire. She has been the girl for this Michigan team.
For sure. To me, the biggest thing that stands out is just the utilization of the Wolverines bench today. As we saw a lot of people who haven't played much at all this season. Camille Edwards, I believe, makes her first appearance in the entire year today. Let me just double check. Or her second appearance, sorry. She makes her second appearance of the entire year today. Sydney Schnickels, we saw her towards the end. Amalia Simmons obviously had those crucial points. Samara Gordon heated up. I just believe that seeing that going down the line as the season goes on, the Wolverines are really going to need to use that bench. And I believe that today was a great experience for them.
100%. If you can get some experience off that bench, just get a couple games out of them, even in, you know, games where, you know, things are going haywire, everything's lost, you know, it just takes someone to step up and just change the outcome of a game. And I think just going to that bench, getting some minutes, getting some, you know, not only just experience, but situational experience, you know, down 2-0, that's important.
Just some things to shout out before we end the night. Tomorrow, Michigan football plays against USC on the road at WCBN Sports. We'll have coverage of that game. Coming up next week, Michigan basketball, we're back. Next Friday, exhibition match against Cincinnati. Wolverine, or WCBN Sports will also be covering that game. But it's been a great night here. Andrew, it's been an honor to call this game with you here in Cliff Keen Arena in Ann Arbor. Unfortunately, the Wolverines couldn't pull it off the upset today as they lose 3-0. But they're looking to bounce back tomorrow as they take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm Reynold Way, joined by Andrew Pipta, leaving you with a good night and a go blue.
All right.